Hello everyone, today we're going to be talking about the Florida Panthers and my views on them as a contender. Now before we start, please make sure to join the Hockey Brigade by subscribing if you are new. Now let's get to it. So, how about those Panthers? The team down in Miami has surely shown us that they can play hockey at a great level with a record of 32-10-5 through their first 47 games and sit first in the league standings with 69 points in 47 games. And from a normal glance, you look at that and say, well, they just have to be Stanley Cup favorites, right? Yeah, but let's take a deeper dive into it on whether or not I will say yes or no at the end of this. So starting off, let's talk about the Panthers offense. Currently, the franchise ranks second in the league for goals for per 60 at 4.03 goals for per 60. That's behind only the reigning President's Trophy winners, the Colorado Avalanche, at 4.04. That is incredible. And also, I just did want to remind you that you have to look at rate for team stats because it just looks better up until the final point of the year, but it just looks as a better indicator for total stats in general. So yeah, keep that in mind that if somebody plays 45 games and scores more goals compared to somebody with 40, it's going to look weird. So rate is just a better way to look at things until the end of the year. Now back to the offense, and the thing that sticks out for me is just their expected goals for per 60 at all strengths, which is already at a staggering 3.47, best in the league by the way. And then you pair that with the fact that their actual goals for per 60, again, is 4.03. That's pretty significantly better, but why is it important? Well, that means that based off the chances this team's got, they've scored more goals than expected, meaning they're outperforming their already high expectations, and pair that with their shooting percentage, which is 11.16, good enough for fourth in the league. That is a very, very positive sign. Why? Better shooters tend to mean more spacing. More spacing tends to mean better quality chances for your offense, which means more goals. You're probably going to have a better chance at winning. And this is all just at, all strength. But at 5-on-5 play, this is where the team really thrives. This is just great stuff here. And that is where the Panthers rank first in the league at 5-on-5 play for goals for per 60, shots for per 60, scoring chances for per 60, high danger goals for percentage, Corsi, etc. They've got a bunch of categories where they are first in the league at 5-on-5 play. But again, some of you might ask, why is that even important? Why is it such a big deal to look at the 5-on-5 stats? And the answer is really simple, and that's just due to you playing the majority of the game at 5-on-5. Now, if you can't play 5-on-5 hockey, you're probably not going to win a lot of games because you're really going to be relying way too much on your power play. You got to get penalties, you got to draw them. You have to have guys that can draw them, which usually requires speed and skill. And you got to rely on scoring on those chances. That's not usually a good thing, and we know teams are not going to win relying on the PK, unless you're just like Cam Atkinson last year, where you scored like 4 shorthanded goals, might have even been 5. But this is a great sign for Florida. We just look at these offensive stats, especially that 5-on-5 stats, and I want to show you this chart here, right here. And this just illustrates how good they are. This is 5-on-5, by the way. Red is good, blue is bad, and the closer you are to the net is good, and the red being very close to the net and just pretty much everywhere is amazing. And you just don't see that for the majority of teams in the league. This would be a chart that you would dream of. And this is the reality for Florida right now. Let's talk about their roster, because that's a big part of this too. And aside from the fact that they've got a great offensive team, they've got tons of depth. I'm not even going to waste your time going through all these guys. We're just going to run through their names real quick. Huberdeau, Barkov, Duclair, Verhaeghe, Bennett, Lundell, Reinhart, etc. We already know Barkov is one of the best offensive players in the league when his game is on. Sam Reinhart is a guy that they got in a trade from Buffalo. He produced on some terrible Buffalo teams over the years, and without Jack Eichel, which was a big thing there. People were going to say, can he do it without the superstar? Yes, he did, and he had a very good year, and he's fitting in Florida. And a name you should probably get familiar with if you don't know already is Antoine Lundell. I think that he's going to be a guy that if he doesn't win Calder this year, he will be in the running at least, as he should get more and more attention because he is second in the league for points by a rookie this season and has played 4 less games in 142 minutes less than the Detroit Red Wings Swedish rookie phenom Lucas Raymond. Granted, Raymond's on a less talented team, but still, you get the point. He's not, Raymond is going to get paired with better guys for the most part, I think. And but the thing is, if his lines were screwed up, it'd be a whole different thing. But still, it is very impressive that Lundell has been able to produce so well to start off the year. The Cats also have 3 players in the top 10 in the NHL for goals per 60, and that is required of 250 minimum minutes played in the league. Very, very impressive, very good. I believe Barkov, probably Huberdeau, just a lot of those guys are those guys. And then we got to talk about the defense. Mackenzie Weegar, if you don't know who he is, you probably should get familiar with him. He has been known to start out his career as a defensive defenseman, but over the past few years, he has grown much more into a good two-way player. We've seen more of that offense as the team is just really, really good offensively. And he's looking to be a good two-way blue liner, hopefully for the years to come. And then there's the pairing of Gustav Forsling and Radko Gudas. And I think from this image on the screen, you'll see what I'm talking about. They have the third best goals percentage in the league for players that have played at least 400 minutes together. And in that time, they've outscored opponents 29-11. And while I'm not saying they're the perfect pairing, they've been able to get some things done together, and it's really all about offense, even from the defense from this team, because they are blue liners, but we can see from that chart, very, very productive. Which leads us to our final topic of goaltending, and that is huge, because I got to be honest here, this is where I get really weirded out by Florida. It's just that after Sergei Bobrovsky, that is, fell off a cliff, he signed with the Florida Panthers in 2019, fell off the map, and I just didn't expect him to bounce back, but here he is. Even at 33 years old, he's performing really well. The Russian Tindy is 12th in the league for goals saved above average, and is even better in the league for goals saved above expected, where he is 8th in the league, while ranking 19th in the league for average goal distance. I don't like him giving up those shorter goals, but I will say a lot of those have been backhanded goals and slap shots, so you can kind of live with it, especially those backhands. You don't like to see it, but it is the team's job to try to get the opposing team away from him up close, so you can live with that. And then they have the young and up-and-coming Spencer Knight. And Knight is a guy that fans really expected to maybe even be the starting caliber goalie to start off the year after his playoff performance against the Lightning in the first round of the playoffs last season. He is a first-round pick, and he has a lot of reason for the fan base to believe in him. And I think that he could be a reliable option for the team if Bobrovsky starts to struggle again, considering the offense is so good. I know that Knight really, really has not lived up to the expectations this year, especially after those playoff performances and then, World Juniors where Team USA beat Team Canada. That was really cool there. But, again, this is a very good team that has a very good offense to where he wouldn't have to be perfect. He could give up 2-3 goals a night, maybe even 4, and they could still win 7-4, 6-4, maybe even 10-4. They have hung up 10 goals on the season, I think, at least once. So with that all being said, do I view the Panthers as a Stanley Cup favorite? My answer is yes. I would put them in my top 4 if you haven't figured that out already. I am very, very hopeful for this team. And I would say at this point, I would not be surprised if Florida was in the Stanley Cup Finals based on how they performed. Last year, I wasn't sold. They were really relying on that power play at points during the year. But they have kept that success rolling right into this season, and they have just demolished teams at this point. There's been multiple games where you look at them, they'll hang up 8 goals. They can score 5 goals on you in a period, and they're really doing some great things at 5-on-5. Their expected goal total is great. The scoring chances they get are great. They're just dominating teams. This team is not a defensive juggernaut by any means, but again, they can hang 5 goals on you in a period if you get sloppy. And then you got to try to play catch-up on a team that's got Barkov. I mean, it's just there's so many options for him. I could just go and go and go here. Duclair is another one. But yeah, so that's all for today's video. Do you think the Panthers are Stanley Cup favorites? Let me know down below in the comments. And before you go, make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And join the Hockey Brigade by subscribing if you are new. Everybody stay safe. Have a great night. You go love hockey, all right? Goodbye, Brigadiers and Brigadettes. This is your captain signing off. Have a great night.